Software is eating the world. And things that were dumb before are being made smart by developing excuses for bolting on hardware just so they can be controlled by software. It's electronic colonization. Soon, even toilets will be connected to the internet and watching your every movement.
This is BOESCHLIT. Good morning, I'm Kurt Balderdash, and this is BOESCHLIT, your bi-weekly business and technology podcast that recharges your e-humor in about 10 minutes. But first, here's what's frosting our Kringler today. Questions about the Metaverse are starting to build as various psychological disciplines wonder about the effects of long-term staring at screens and no real in-person social interaction become the norm in a dissociative future. Many are concerned about the lack of socialization, the reduction in the reading of body language, and other forms of healthy interactions that humans have evolved with for hundreds of thousands of years. No comment yet from the Chicago public school system. Japanese inventor Home Miyashita has created a lickable prototype television screen. Called Taste the TV, viewers can now taste images as a result of a 10-flavor carousel that can mix basic flavors into more complex ones. The mixed flavor combination is sprayed onto a TV screen via a hygienic film. As for future TV shows that could use this wonderful new technology, the possibilities are limitless. Already, the Discovery Channel is considering a lickable version of Dirty Jobs. Using artificial intelligence, Chinese scientists have developed a software version of a prosecutor. According to reports, the legal machine intelligence is able to identify and file charges for the 8 most common crimes in Shanghai, including theft, reckless driving, freedom of speech, and freedom of thought. In this special episode, we focus on the 2022 Consumer Electronics Show, known as CES, by the organizers of the Consumer Electronics Show, who no longer want it called the Consumer Electronics Show, but only CES. We begin with Anita Martini and the new CES category of transportation.
There are many new vehicles here at the Consumer Electronics Show. I mean CES. Chrysler has a new sedan called Airflow, BMW has one that changes color, and Chevrolet has the Silverado EV. Each has impressive stats, and may even be released in the next decade, pending the availability of chips. Modern cars have about 1,000 microchips in them, and EVs have double that. Although Apple is rumored to be working on their own car, it is Sony that got to CES first with theirs. However, it is a new car company called EGAD that really shined. The EV startup showed a car with an interior that sports a very futuristic display that stretches from the floor to the ceiling, and wraps around the entire cabin. There are no windows. You see what's outside on the wraparound display that the EV maker calls total reality immersion. Pricing has not been announced, but EGAD claims it will likely be affordably priced about $100,000. In addition to cars and trucks, there are scooters, e-bikes, and e-motorcycles. The industry is no longer happy with making a $100 bicycle or a $40 scooter. Instead, it has set its sights on e-bikes that run up to $8,000 and scooters that hit the $1,000 mark. One such scooter is the Atomic Glide by Electro Squirt. The scooter features an air suspension, anti-lock brakes, and supports Apple Play. It can accelerate from 0 to 17 miles per hour in half a second, and has a range of 15 minutes on electric power, and is virtually limitless running on gravity. Expect to see it later this year for $999.
We turn now to Little Gadgets with Peter Dongle.
This year's Consumer CES, has its share of toy robots and ridiculously over-engineered TVs, But here's a few things that caught our eye. If you purchased NFTs of various images or videos, you can display them on the nifty frame by Gilded Lily Incorporated. The frame is an actual picture frame with gold leaf and carved scrollwork. Inside is a connected computer that loads all your NFTs, whether they be art or pictures of rugs. Augmented reality glasses are beginning to get smaller and less dorky. Some are sophisticated enough to be both augmented and virtual reality glasses. A lot of people believe the next big use case for these devices will be travel, or the lack thereof these days. I put our own perspicution fog in some glasses, and showed him a trip over Niagara Falls.
Wow, this is so realistic. I mean, really realistic. So realistic. I'm gonna be sad.
Finally, there is a unique product for those who suffer from nasal thrombosis. It's called the nasal stimulator. You just place the finger-sized digital manipulator inside one nostril and press the button, and it gently massages the interior of your nostril. This product is actually for sale here at the show, and I have seen literally hundreds of people walking around using them. I see them being used by people waiting in line for food, or watching product demonstrations. I had no idea there were so many people who suffer from nasal thrombosis.
Another trend in technology is personal surveillance, whether this is through the guise of health, home protection, or mobility. We begin with Anita Martini and your health surveillance.
Health surveillance is a big topic at this show. Apple has their Apple Watch, Google has whatever they may introduce someday, and then there's Hippo, makers of connected bathroom scales. Hippo makes 3 scales, each covering a different weight range of 0 to 250 pounds called the Athlete, 0 to 350 pounds called the Couch Surfer, and one that goes from 0 to 500 pounds called the Gravity Well. Each model can track weight loss, or gains, over time, and email or text you either praise or encouragement to lose weight in the form of small videos of coronary bypass surgery or exploding whales. Air purifier company Aeronoid is introducing a new unit that will not only remove all forms of contaminants from a large room, but will chemically analyze them using a built-in mass spectrometer, then provide you a detailed report. It can track the health of your air over time, and issue air health warnings when contaminants have exceeded maximum safe levels, and will advise you to leave the room immediately with a friendly but loud alarm.
Home surveillance is a burgeoning market where Amazon, Google, and Apple all provide devices you can use to place orders, get information, or just talk to because you're home all day, alone, and your social structure has been effectively destroyed. Robo-Trooper is a small robot that patrols your house while keeping an eye on your children. You can speak to it just like any other connected home device, but it also provides security at night as it roams the house looking for intruders. Or sometimes the cat. It can also keep an eye on children in case they are sick or injured, not doing their homework, or watching too many TikTok videos. It speaks to them with a gentle German accent.
Halt! Enough of the TikTok. Get the back to work.
The Robo-Trooper is $699 and has 2 cameras that it uses as eyes, and several microphones to record everything in its environment. Cloud storage is free up to the first gigabyte, and is $9.99 per month for each additional gigabyte.
Mobility surveillance begins with connected cars, and is definitely in the near future. New manufacturers of hardware and software will allow municipalities to monitor the speed of your vehicles through the use of GPS and 5G. To ensure the ultimate inconvenience to the vehicle owner, speeding tickets will be issued automatically and silently, and charged to the user's credit card. Although it will be possible in the future to remotely slow down a vehicle, or shut it off completely, cities will likely stick with the silent auto ticket system. Another mobility surveillance offering comes from a company called Be Seeing You. The smartphone app will allow citizens to move freely throughout a city without having to stop to pay for public transportation like the subway or buses, and it allows unfettered access to concert halls and museums without having to pay at a box office. Once the user has entered in their credit card information, their address, and their health status information, they can then freely roam through town. It's the perfect marriage between convenience and surveillance, and it's coming sooner than you think.
Technology is changing faster than ever these days, and it leaves little time for people to adapt. I'm talking with Dr. Helen Bach, professor of psychology at Remote University, and author of the new book, The Joy of Looking into the Abyss. Doctor, with the rapid changes we're seeing in life all around us, is there time for people to adjust and make sense of it?
No, not really. The amount of technological and societal change in the past 10 years is greater than the previous century, and that century saw change at a rate greater than the previous 500 years. Soon, we'll be doubling the change every few years. Frankly, I'm exhausted just thinking about it, which sucks because that's my job.
Just focusing on technology, is there a role for psychologists and perhaps even anthropologists in this headlong rush towards newer and faster?
There should be, but we're at a point now where technological change is like a drug addiction. It has developed a significant speed with each new generation, and our expectations have been set. For example, we're seeing the transformation of cars into appliances like fast-moving toasters that will eventually not even need the user to put bread in it. I like driving. I don't want to drive a toaster.
We're seeing that in all sorts of things, like kitchen appliances and many basic items like beds and coolers.
Software is eating the world, and things that were dumb before are being made smart by developing excuses for bolting on hardware just so they can be controlled by software. It's electronic colonization. Soon, even toilets will be connected to the internet and watching your every movement.
Where will it all end?
In a chair, in a box, connected to the internet where a human is employed, maintained, and entertained until it dies or can no longer provide any useful service.
Sounds like the Borg.
More like the Matrix. Yeah, they really got it right. People will be referred to as DBUs, decentralized biological units. They can see, hear, taste, experience sensations like touch and smell, everything simulated and connected. For some, in the not-so-distant future, these highly advanced metaverses will be better than reality. Anyone can portray themselves as unique and narcissistic, as a self-involved snowflake, and avoid any effort or merit through competition by winning a trophy every hour on the hour through the gamification of their simulated lives.
It appears that the future doesn't need us.
It doesn't. It's depressing. I think I'll go home and binge watch something on Netflix and order food and booze. It's not like I leave my house anymore. I'm so depressed.
Oh, I forgot to mention. Happy birthday, Doctor. That should cheer you up.
God, I just turned 40. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
And finally, all this talk of electronic doodads is fun. Technology is fun and useful once in a while. But when it crosses the line from being an occasionally fascinating diversion to a customized and monitored sociopathic training experience, you just gotta unplug it, walk away, and go camping. Preferably someplace sunny and warm, with no cell signal, just trees, rocks, and single malt contemplation. That's all for now. Join us again next time. Different day, same BOESCHLIT.